What's up, YouTube? Joshua the Window Cleaner here with Jersey from Window Cleaning Resource and American Window Cleaner Magazine for giveaway night 60. So thank you so much, Jersey, for joining me tonight. I really appreciate it. How are you doing tonight?
Definitely, man. I'm good. I am great. I'm glad we could finally do this. We've been talking about it for a while, so glad that you finally just called me. You're like, but let's just do this.
Yeah, I know.
You forced me to do. Yeah, I like it. I like it.
Yeah, I tried to reach out a few different ways, and it's like I know this morning whenever you messaged me, we were trying to figure out like how in the world, like we were like, okay, like which point of contact did we? Oh, so and then I was like, I called, and I was like, man, that was it. I had called
Yeah,
because I couldn't. I messaged you, and it was a lot of chaotic stuff, but I'm glad we
I
got
put it
together for the
down.
show.
Yeah, I put it down the wrong thing too. My office lady was like, "Hey, your thing is today 9 a.m." I was like, "Oh yeah." So I quick recorded Nation, and then it was like 20 minutes. I quick went down, grabbed a glass of water, came back up, and I'm like, "Man, when is he gonna send me this thing?" I'm like sitting around messaging you and forgetting that you're like hours behind me. You're like, "No, dude, it's PM." So
Dude, yeah, and it was early this morning too, and I remember when we had
I hooked you
talked.
up, huh?
Yeah, no, it's all good. I was already because we have the baby, man, so it's all good. But
Yeah.
but I was up. I wasn't like moving around quite. But it was funny because I read it and I was like, I was like, did I do something wrong? I was like, was we supposed to meet at 6 o'clock in the morning? I was like, that feeling when you wake up and you're like in a panic mode, like did I
Yeah,
did I
I
miss
bet.
something? But no, I'm glad that we were able to connect tonight and get things going. So tonight we're gonna be talking to Jerseys about his story and how he got to where he is right now. And that means how he got to be a WCR sales rep and the founder of American Window Cleaner Magazine. But first, before we do that, let's go ahead and spin that first prize wheel from Window Magic Supply to see who's going to win. So answer that question as quickly as possible in the comments right now. Are you ready? And go. All right, congratulations out there to the fourth person to answer that correctly. You won the Triumph Scraper with a pack of replacement blades. So congratulations, and you also get a T-shirt from Window Magic Supply, so you can thank Randy as well. I'm gonna send you her card so you can call her and tell her thank you. And if you let her know that you heard about them on the show or you want a prize, you can also get 10% off on your order. So hope that
She's so
helps.
nice, by the
Randy is
way.
awesome. Like Randy is so nice, and like I've met her in person, and we really hit it off. The first time I went down there, I needed some filters, man, and she just was over the top, like just so helpful. And I was telling her about actually giveaway night, and then that she was like, "I want to support you on that." So she actually is how I got started on giveaway night. She was the first
Oh
to
wow.
say like, "Here, I'm going to give you some tools to put on giveaway night," and so that's kind of what all jumped it off. The first thing, it was weird, man. The very first giveaway, somebody from my channel sent me a squeegee and said, "Hey, I want to give this away on your channel." And I was like, "Okay, cool." So I did a giveaway night, and I was like, "Okay, this is from." I can't remember his name. Of course, it's been 60 nights, so I think it was Luis Mojica, but I don't want to say it wrong. But I think that's who it was. But anyways, he sent me a squeegee and I gave it away, and then I was telling Randy about it, and then she supported me. So Randy is such a blessing in my life, and she's always sending me words of encouragement, texting me, seeing how I'm doing, and it's really cool. Like Randy's a really sweet lady. Like her and her
Yeah.
husband are awesome.
Yeah, I've talked to him a bunch of times, and the first time I met her was at the IWCA show, I think, just recently. Was it IWCA? Anyway, one of the shows, and she's like, "Oh, hey, how are you?" And I'm like, "Man, the voice sounds familiar. I've talked on the phone." I'm like, "Yeah, cool." She's like, "Jersey, right?" I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "I'm Randy." I was like, "Oh my gosh!" Second day, she had like cookies or brownies or something. I'm like,
Yeah,
exactly how I would figure
yeah.
it all. She brought it for everybody in the show. Yeah.
Yeah, she is so nice, like so nice, and all she asks is if you will just take a selfie picture. So if you won this, when you get it, if you can just take a selfie style picture with it, and she would really appreciate that. Send that to us so she can post about it, and that kind of helps get her name out there a little bit too, because she is so sweet. Like, and she
Yeah.
tries to have everything in the store, and she's my local shop, so she actually is like 30 minutes down the street from me. So
Wow.
that's the closest window cleaning store if I just can't wait for shipping or anything, because shipping is a little bit difficult sometimes with the WCR, because I am in California, so I might have
Oh
to
yeah.
wait like 2 days or 3 days or something. So I would rather just drive down there if I need a filter or something, but I'm kind of stocked up right this second. But I wasn't at the
Nice.
time, and I'm glad I wasn't, because I was able to stop by there and find out
Right.
about them. I didn't even know about them. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I'm definitely thankful. So yeah, so email me if you won, if you were the fourth person to answer that correctly, and I believe the answer was Unger. So definitely email me at joshuathewindowcleaner@gmail.com, and I will send that out to you. All right, Jersey, let's get this party started with your story. How did you become a window cleaner, and what happened during that time to get you to being a WCR rep? We're going to talk about the magazine later, but right now let's just focus on how you got to being a WCR rep. We want to hear details on what shifted your mindset, and we have plenty of time, so any of the stories that helped motivated you would be awesome.
Yeah, yeah. So I got started because I was actually helping my brother uh, paint. He had owned a painting company, and the people that he was cleaning for, literally, as I was standing there talking to my brother, walked up with like a gallon jug of Windex. And I know now that was an awful, awful thing, but he handed the Windex and he had a like car wash squeegee thing, literally like the wooden handle with like the
Yeah.
two sides. And my brother, just because I was there helping, he's like, "You clean the windows. That's weird. Whatever. We're painters. We're not doing that." So I just started doing it, and I was just like chilling, doing it. I was like, "This is kind of enjoyable." And I've always had hustles on the side. I've always done kind of just business. I love business. Like, you either really like cleaning windows or you really like business. Like
Yes.
you're one or the other. And I've always been business. So I kind of came home and I was like, "Man, maybe I wonder if this is like a legit thing." And looked it up, and this is like a long time ago, so there was no resources, barely at all. But I found that there was like a couple groups and kind of things. There was an email group from Gary Maurer, who actually lived in Wisconsin like I did, and I was like, oh man, this is like a real thing. I could kind of do this. So I bought my first starter kit, had it sent to me, and my wife yelled at me. She's like, "You spent, at the time, I think it was like $225 on like a starter kit for something that I just kind of was like, yeah, this kind of might be kind of cool." And yeah, that's how I started. I like stumbled into it. It was my like side hustle for a while, and then just like anything, became a full-time thing. So
So
it
what?
was
So what happened? How did you end up like start like so? I guess you started your own business after that.
yes,
And
yeah.
so how
And
did
I
that come
did,
about? What motivated you to be like, I'm like, because I understand the first story, but like where was that breaking point where it was like, this is this is actually
yeah.
going to be very profitable, you know?
Yeah. Well, I actually did one job, and it was for like friends of my mom. It was a commercial job, which, funny enough, the first time I did it, it took me like 3 hours and something. We did that all the way until I sold my company, and it took us like 15 to 20 minutes, depending on what season it was. So I really messed up the first one, but I remember coldest day of the year, like just doing it. I'm like, this is just like super boring if this is all of my jobs. So I did one job and then hired my first person. So I literally was like, so then I had somebody to work with, but it was kind of part time. It was actually where my brother had owned that painting company. It was his buddy, so he
Oh,
like was
okay.
doing painting and this, so he kind of could just kind of like slack off. I remember like our first like year, we'd have jobs we had in the calendar, and this is when we came out. If that tells you anything, how long ago it was. And there was this game called Tanks, and I remember just like every now and then I go to pick him up in the morning. He'd be like, "You want to play Tanks?" Like, yeah, we just like throw the whole day away and just go play Wii. And I just didn't take it seriously for a while. And then I had a home show or a trade, like a home show trade show type thing. And after that, it really just catapulted everything. I actually ended up getting let go from my job like a week or two before this show, and I already had it planned and everything was going. And it just literally worked out that like my catapult just all happened at the same time. So it went really, looking back on it, terrifyingly, but smoothly when it could have been other ways. So that's kind of how I got into window cleaning. And then from there, it was like, okay, either I can do this as like you could do it for freedom or for money, right? You can pick one or the other, but you usually can't have both. And I did it for freedom for a while, right? Like the first time I'm like, man, I could just go like on vacation and it'd be fine. And then I realized like I don't have money for vacation, so maybe I should work more and make sense. So all of a sudden, that over the years turned into working more and not the freedom side. So I just kept going and ended up selling my company now maybe 6 years ago, and I sold it to my operations officer. So
What made
it's
you
the
sell?
whole
What made you sell your company though? Like, what was that breaking point
yeah.
where it's like,
It's
how many employees did you have? How long was that time period? How long did it take you to get to where you could sell your business?
Yeah, so it is anticlimactic, but we some friends of ours moved, and actually to where I live now, and here in North Carolina, we I got to plan the vacation that year. We took a week off around the Fourth of July every year, and I'm like, okay, we're going down there for 2 days. We're gonna go down to Myrtle Beach for 2 days, and then we're gonna go back to Nashville for 2 days on the way back, and we'll get back in about a week. And ended up being like 6 shark attacks that week. So we stayed in Mooresville, where I live now, for like the whole week, and we just like fell in love with the place. Like the schools were good. There was like no crime. Like it was like Pleasantville of awesomeness. The weather was amazing. And on our drive back, we had a 13-hour drive, and I was talking to my wife, and like, this kind of like is awesome. Don't you wish we could live there? And she's like, yeah. And I mean, she lived like a mile away from her house where she was born all her life. I didn't think she'd ever do anything like that. She's like, yeah, it'd be really nice for the kids. As soon as I heard that, I was like, ah. So got back to work, and I talked to my operations officer, who he basically knew the thing anyway. And I said, hey, man, what are your thoughts about buying this company? He's like, dude, I don't have any money. I can't just fork out, you know, 6 figures that you kind of want to get for your company. I said, well, what if I could make it so that you could literally walk into it? Like I knew him. He was a great guy. I knew his like heart. I mean, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah.
I knew his work quality, but I knew that like if poo hit the fan, he would still be paying me. So I took all the liability on that, which ended up yielding me, good. I think I was at like 5%, I think over 4 years. Anyway, so I had a 4-year deal for the buyout, and it was literally an easy like one day he went into work on a Friday, like high-fived him, and then on Monday he was making all the money. Like nothing changed, like he still came to work. He still how I ran it was that my operations guy, there was tiers, right? So my operations officer was right under me, and then each crew had a crew chief that ran that crew and then reported to him, right? So literally he knew all of everything already. And he did that. He was my filter. So if I decided to go into work, or I didn't decide to go into work, or I decided whatever, he was going to handle all the issues, all the good things and all the bad things. He just needed to kind of hone it in. So he already knew it, literally walked into it with like the sweetest deal ever. I don't even, I think he had to buy one of the like 3 trucks that I sold him with the business. And I think he had to buy one of them outright right away, but the other ones were worked into the deal. So other than that, I mean, he didn't have to do anything. So it was worked out really, really well. But anyway, I wanted to go to North Carolina, and I did not want to be like a absentee owner. Like I didn't want him to decide one day that like, all right, deuces, I'm going to do something, and then me just be like SOL and have to figure out like how do I get a new like king to run the whole thing.
Yeah.
So to get rid of the headaches, I just did that, and then ended up being a consultant, in the buyout for 4 years. So I got a paycheck for 4 years. Sat around, I think, for maybe a year, not even really a year, probably 6 months. Like as we moved, got things ready, and I was like, this is dumb. This is boring. So then I started another company here in Mooresville at the same time, getting into WCR. I had known those guys forever, but they were like, hey man, if you're just like sitting around, like you want to do some live chat at night? I'm like, yeah, whatever. At the time, like it was enough live chat to like every month, I think my mortgage payment was basically made with like live chat. Like I just sit around watching TV, hanging out with the family anyway. Like why not?
Yeah.
And yeah, that was like forever ago. That was like 7. I think I've been working with them now for like 7 years or something, and things have just kind of merged from there. So,
How many employees did you have in total whenever you had your other business?
so we ran 10 when I sold, but great guy still. I genuinely know his heart, but his company that he has now is not quite what I sold him.
I got you.
So things have kind of changed a little bit, but again, it's his company.
Yep.
It's like you have a baby, right? Like in the very beginning, you have to give it everything or it dies, right? That's business.
Yeah.
And then eventually it becomes like that, like teenager where you're like, man, this thing is just annoying me a little bit, like it's getting on my nerves, like I'm trying to like pull away a little bit. And then all of a sudden you marry it off, right?
Yeah.
Like I have 2 daughters, like someday I will have to be like, all right, you know what? It's somebody else's turn to like take care of or look over this thing. That's like my business. And if in the first year, second year of marriage, my daughter ends up getting tattoos or something else, well, it's not under my watch anymore, and they have to do their own thing. That's business, so I can't be angry at how things have gone. No one's going to run your business exactly like you. We can't find clones. It's not a real thing. So yeah.
No, that's facts. All right, so that's a really cool story. I appreciate that story. So all right, let's talk about the next thing. So now let's get to the magazine. How did this come up in your life, and how did you make it all happen? And we want to hear all the details and stories that led to the shift in your life and what motivated you.
Yeah, so at this point, I had started working with WCR and ended up selling my other business here and kind of got into doing sales. And if you know things about sales or you've talked to me kind of on another side, with sales, especially for commission, right? Obviously, everybody knows that. So if I work, I make money. If I don't, I don't. So I do work a lot right now. But when the magazine had come up for sale, the magazine started in 1986. So it's been around for like a long,
So you bought
time.
the magazine company. Okay.
Yes.
That makes sense.
Yes.
Okay.
So Mike Draper had owned it at the time and did great things, but he was getting in more into safety side of it, and he just kind of needed to free that up. With the magazine, there is a lot of not bad things, but time things. It's like you can't push things because the magazine has to go to edit, it has to be final approved, and it has to be off to print, say, before the first day of the month, right? So if the first day of the month comes, it pushes everything ahead, and you end up there's a time thing. So he just needed to free that up, and the opportunity came, and I'm like, man, I've been doing media for a while. Same thing with podcasting. I've been doing that now for like 4.5 years, every single week. And it's like, man, I've already done this content. People kind of know me for the content, and I've really helped people. It's like, how do I branch out in content? And I really, really like paper magazines. It sounds super corny. Obviously now that I actually own a magazine, but and I like the feel of magazines. I'm like, man, there's so many cool things you could really do, like stickers and like posters and like the pictures and getting people published. Like, I was like, maybe this could kind of work. And that's just basically how it got in. He was looking to get out, and I kind of opened the door to get in. So it kind of worked that way,
Yeah. Well, it seems like you were the perfect person for the job. It sounds like, for sure, because it sounds like you're passionate about that for sure. So that's really cool. And I love the magazine. I get the magazine subscription. I know that there was like a little bit of a speed bump because I wanted to get it, but I moved. And so I don't know if it was going. But I had asked the lady that I used to live with, I was like, "Are you getting my magazine?" She was like, "I haven't got any magazines." So I don't know if I deleted my address somehow or something like that. But I was glad I was able to get a hold of you because I like seeing the stickers and just having every magazine just sitting in there. So I really like to be able to just go through it. So really cool magazine. If you haven't checked out American Window Cleaner magazine, you definitely need to check it out and subscribe. It's not very much, and you get it monthly, and you get really cool stickers and all kinds of really good information from really experienced window cleaners out there. And it's just a really cool magazine, especially if you're a window cleaner. Like, I didn't really know this was a big thing, back in the day. But now that I have, it's fun to get a magazine and be like, what stickers are in here this month? I think that's probably the most exciting thing about it is just to see. Even if I don't put the stick, my wife hates stickers. Like, just for the record, my
Yeah.
wife hates like the whole thought of a sticker. And like when she sees
Yeah.
other people's pictures online, she's like, you're all the same.
Yeah, yeah, stickers, man. Here's something really interesting about the industry. Again, since you've kind of you know it, your age wise, you kind of been in the industry, but we were like glorified janitors for forever, right? I mean, we were just the guys who cleaned bird poop off windows, and we got paid really well for it. But that's what we were. Nothing against janitorial. I've had janitorial in my company, but we kind of fell under that kind of category. And then all of a sudden, things started changing. Exactly with WCR, not to kiss up to Chris, but what those guys did, by the way, I was the first person to ever sign up for their website, Window Cleaning Resource, by the way. I was like number one that wasn't affiliated with them. But I was like, this is kind of cool. They started off and they started things a little bit different, and that's what broke through the mold. Like, they just started kind of building this culture. And now people, like, you go see on, YouTube and everything else, they're wearing WCR shirts. Like, we're a supply company. That's like wearing a shirt that just says Kmart, or like it's amazing when you think about it. But there's this culture thing that's built now, and we have fans, not customers. And that part's like people will be like, "Oh, dude, like that's cool," but like I shop at WCR. Like I'm a guy. Like they only buy through me. Like how awesome is that kind of? So we built this kind of culture, and that's
Yep.
where like the stickers come in and the posters and like people got tattoos and shirts and hats and like we send out like so much free stuff that like pint glasses and like hats. Like I can't tell you how many times, even at shows and stuff, they wear those shirts almost like, and this sounds, getting corny, but like you go to a concert, everybody at the concert, or 70% of the people are wearing the band that they went to see, their shirt. Like you go to these trade shows and big, the huge convention and IWCA and all these other ones, and like there's so many people wearing the gear, and it's like, whoa. I mean, it's a culture thing now. We
It
have
is.
literally fans instead. And the nice thing about that too, on the other side, is like if I forget to call somebody back or something falls through the cracks or something, like people will give me crap afterwards. They're like, yeah, whatever, I know you're busy.
Yeah.
But it's like the Cleveland Browns. Like people still are fans of the Browns even if the Browns are still the Browns. Like there's people who are like, they suck but I love them. And that's the kind of thing, is when you have fans, they don't necessarily care as much about like I don't even want to say stuff because we do so many giveaways and all these other free things, but they're just like, they're
Do
just
giveaways
loyal because
here. I
they're
mean, WCR
exactly.
doesn't get away
I
here,
know, I
so
know.
they supported me
So it's
right
very
away. As soon
cool.
as I asked Chris, he supported me. They've been awesome. Like Chris
Yeah,
and
nice.
man, they have been fantastic. And Jess and Chris have worked together, and they have been fantastic on sharing the show and stuff like that. Because
Yeah.
man, they've been a blessing for me, and for them it's great, but for me it's like this is so cool to be the middleman here, to be able to just give these tools away. I mean, it's definitely time consuming,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah.
but I don't mind it because I really enjoy myself. I come here every Friday night and I get to meet with other window cleaners around the country, and it's a feeling that I can't describe, man. And I have
Yeah.
people texting me after and say, "Man, I'm so glad you have the thing every Friday," and it means a lot to other people, and so that's why I keep it going. It don't matter if it means a lot to a million people. I mean, I'm cool with like 10, 15 people, because you get more than that, then you can't control the comments, and then it just gets
Yeah.
out of hand.
Let me ask you one question. So when
Okay.
you started window cleaning, in like your first month or two, there's one person, and I know his name is burned in your brain. I don't know who it is, but there was one person that helped you like more than anything. Like I still remember 16 years ago, the guy, his name was Kevin Heap, and he's still around every now and then. But I remember meeting him at a show in Wisconsin, and him just being like, "Oh man, you using bucket nuts on a belt?" And I'm like, "I don't even know what that is." He's like, "Hold on a second." Walks out to his car, grabs them, and he's like, "Dude, I just got like 3 of them. I only need 2 of them. Take this one." I'm like, "Oh my gosh, yeah. How much? How much?" He's like, "No, take it." Like that stuff in your brain where that one person helped you, or like another guy's name's Jeff Glass out of Milwaukee. Man, he just like, I told him what I was doing at the time, and I was brand new. Like I wanted to meet people, but this is like my first couple months. He's like, "Yeah, dude, come on up, man. We'll talk. We'll have lunch." Like what? Like those type of people stick into your life forever. And that's what you are now for other people. Like, people always kind of say, you know, like, what do you like? Obviously, you're doing all this because you want sales. Well, yeah, obviously, sales are cool. That's kind of a reason I do it. But the other side is, how many people could I be written into their story? You know,
Yeah.
like, how many people could they be like, dude, like, he's the guy who helped me. And I get that all the time, which is like, I mean, when you do media, I'm sitting in front of a computer in an empty room right now. You know,
Yeah.
like, there's nobody really here. But when somebody sees you or meets you or talks to you, and they're like, dude, you're the reason, like, you changed my business, or you've doubled my business in the last year because whatever the thing is, it's like, I've been written into somebody else's story now. And that
Yeah.
absolutely is the reason you can do any of this stuff. You get to be the one that helps now.
Yeah, and I think that the money part of it is like it just enables you to continue to be able to do it. It's not even like because you're not out to get the bag full of money. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah,
obviously, because if you were out to get the bag full of money, you wouldn't be doing what you're doing now. You know what I mean?
right,
But you're
right.
doing it now, and you've helped the industry a lot. And I watched some of your videos. I had no idea. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like I'm telling you, I had no idea about the industry. So I'm just new to watching your videos too. So I get on there and I get overwhelmed with videos. So I can only click on the ones that I'm like, all right, cool. Like let's click on this one, and then I can listen to it
Yeah,
for a little bit. But it's been very educational. Everything I've ever listened to that you've had, and I'm like, that's so cool that he's doing. And my wife, like, cause when I walk around the house, like even with my baby and stuff, and like you're playing on my phone, and she's like who's that? And I'm like, that's Jersey. And she's like, I like him. But sometimes when I listen to other things, she's like, she's like, what are you listening to? Like, what are you
I
doing?
know.
You know what I mean? And so like, it's super cool because you get the knowledge and you get the experience from listening to these videos that you've already been through these things. And that's kind of why I started my YouTube is that, I had no idea there was like an industry where there was information and all this stuff. So I did things my own way. And then I realized that it was working, and so I wanted to help other people because I kept seeing window cleaners go out of business each year. Each year it was new window cleaners, and each year
Yeah,
it was window cleaners that were just gone. And I was still floating around there on the referrals because you can see who's doing what through the referrals on the internet, like for real. Like if you
yeah,
pay attention, you can see what's going on in the community. And so that has been, the thing for me is just watching what everybody else is doing. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to try to help people, and that was one of my goals with my business coach is like, I want to help people. He said, well, if you really want to help people, then you got to do it. And he was like,
yeah,
how often are you spending time on it? You got to do like an hour a week. You got to do this. You got to do this. And then so that just built up into 225 videos. After I think it's been a year and 6 months, maybe. But I've like I did a thing where it was a goal to make one video for 100 days. Like every single video, I was gonna
oh,
post a video, and it was like real content, like reviews and like it, dude. It was so hard and stressful
uh,
because of the upload process. You know what I
yeah, yeah,
mean?
yeah,
Like, so,
yeah,
but I did it, and then after 100 days, it was like I had really boosted my YouTube, but I was just working on a goal. You know what I'm saying? And my
yeah,
YouTube was like blowing up, and I was getting all these views and people commenting. Everybody was being really encouraging. Like I very very rarely got negative things, but it says right on the front of my thing, this is for positive window cleaners. So if you do want to be negative, like I can kick you off there, but most people are pretty cool. And then I
yeah,
started a group on Facebook called Window Cleaners, and like it was the simplest thing. So I started a group called Window Cleaners, and now there's like 1.5. I think there's like 1,500 people in there, which is super cool. I'm like, that's super cool that in a year and a half I got 1,500 people in there, and I've had to kick out probably 2,000 people to be honest with you, like because I don't like people
yeah.
being rude in there, and I've said it several times. Like if you're rude, I will kick you out. There's no warning.
I
There's
know.
no like I'm not playing that. Go to another group and do that. That's fine. But in here, I want people to be encouraging each other and like really helping each other because we need a group like that. And window cleaning resource is exactly that. Window cleaning resource has been a resource where you can go there, you get all the resources that you need. You can get the tools, you can get the information, you can see reviews, you can see people that are talking about real things in the forums, like super cool and encouraging. And that's why
Mm,
I asked Chris, I said, man, I love what y'all are doing and I want to support what y'all are doing. And I loved what Window Magic Supply was doing. They're my local shop. So that's why they're on the show. But man, all that stuff really adds up and matters in the community of the window cleaners. And then also, like personally, it's been encouraging to me and all the things that I've learned, and just
yeah,
being able to continue on. you know, and know that I'm going to continue on learning. That's why I'm doing the tool time thing. It's not even tools that I've used. A lot of the tools I've never even used, but I'm reading the information
Yeah.
about it. I've looked it up and, you know, spend the time doing it. And I think that's super cool because now we can learn that, and my employees get to learn that too. So, you know, it's kind of a
Yeah.
little thing is I can be like, watch this. You know, I got an episode about this, and I've even had to do that sometimes with my secretary because she can't go to the jobs because she's under a different thing in the payroll thing. So she can watch all the jobs on my YouTube channel. So that was another reason why I did it.
Yeah.
So it's just been very encouraging, man. I've gotten a lot of support, and I'm super blessed by the people that are on the show and been commenting. And if you're able to get on here eventually, you can go to the live chat and see all the comments in there, man. It's crazy. I don't even know how many comments are on there, but yeah.
It's
So
hard to think that there's some other industry out there that is like this one, though. The culture in this is just so absolutely amazing now. Like, I can't. I mean, in the early days too. Now I'm too old, but in the early days, man, I can't tell you how many floors I slept on in hotel rooms at shows, and like people are like, "Ah, dude, come on!" Like, dude, I used to be a lobby crasher for sure, you know, like, and it's just like I can't imagine being like an HVAC guy and having this tight knit community. I mean, we don't have millions of people in our community, so I think that's why. But man, it's an awesome industry.
yeah, we're all weirdos in one big circle.
That's right. That's right.
But because anybody outside of the circle, because I get to talking like with my wife's grandma about window cleaning and stuff, and she's just like mind blown. But she recommends me so much because of that, and she'll
Yeah.
even get on the show and watch too and stuff. It's super cool. But you know, it's just funny to think about it, like, because I remember when I had no idea window cleaning was even a thing. You know what I mean? I didn't even know, like, because in Alabama where I'm from, tornado's going to come through eventually and blow the windows out anyways. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's not a real big deal, you know, to clean the windows out there. I mean, they still, you know, the houses near the river probably still get cleaned, and I thought about it after all the time went by. I was like, that probably is a thing in Alabama actually. But man, it's just so funny, you know, and it's cool how we're like all in this window cleaning circle and we get it. Like everybody in the bubble
Yeah.
gets it, you know. It's kind of like
Yeah.
the magazine, you know. It's just a magazine thing. It's a culture thing, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
You
so
can't talk to everybody in your life about window cleaning. No, but your wife doesn't really want to hear you, doesn't. But we could sit and talk all day long on shop. You know,
yeah,
it's just there's an understanding that you have and I have that never even has to be spoken, but we just get each other because we've both been through it. You know.
yeah. And my wife has actually been out and cleaned windows, and she helped with the secretary part when we were just dating. And she went out and cleaned windows before she got pregnant, and so she's understanding on that part. But she just thinks it's so funny because whenever she sees some kind of drama going on in the industry, because you know sometimes there's drama going on. When there's drama going on in the industry, she just is like, "Y'all are freaking window cleaners."
Yeah.
Like, dude,
Yeah.
like it's not that serious. Like, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like we're getting upset about one clip, two clip. You know what
It's one clip. If you want to know the right answer, it's
I'm
hashtag one clip. That's the answer.
All right, we won't get into that right now, but let's go ahead and do the second prize wheel from WCR and see what we have for the second prize. So let's go ahead and spin that wheel. All right, congratulations to the second person to answer that correctly. You have won the mystery towel prize from WCR. So I can't wait to show y'all all these different towels that I got here. That I want to see if Jersey can name all these towels to help us out,
Boom.
because you should be able to know these towels. These all came from WCR. So let's see if you can
Yes.
do it. All right. So
Got it.
first of all, Do you know anything about this?
Ooh. Oh, that's the hand soap by Craig. Yes, Craig knows a soap maker, and he got some WCR soap.
So it smells nice. So I'm gonna send you the winner. The second person to answer that correctly, you're gonna get one of these as a little side note, and you're gonna get the
The beanie. No,
toboggan.
wait, hold on.
We
I
call
was just gonna
we call
say
it
you're from the
toboggan.
South. I did not
Toboggan.
know that until like 5 years ago, and somebody was like, "You gotta get a toboggan in there." I'm like, what are you talking about? Yeah, sorry.
My wife said the same thing. She was like, "Oh my gosh, like it's not called a toboggan. It's called like a sled or something. A
A
toboggan is a
toboggan
sled."
is a giant wooden sled that like six
Dude,
people could
I
ride.
swear, growing up, a toboggan was a beanie. But I understand
Yeah.
now. I'm in California, long
You didn't
enough to
have
know.
snow either. Yeah.
Exactly. We don't have snow. It does get cold in Alabama, but yeah. So congratulations, you won a toboggan beanie, whatever you call it, wherever you're at, because you could be from the south like I'm at, and that's a toboggan to you. So we should do that, like a hashtag toboggan or beanie.
Right, right.
All right. So
Uh,
here's the first towel. So this one's an easy one.
Boom, squeegee life,
All right.
easy.
So you get 3 Squeegee Life towels on this mystery towel prize.
Um, that is a Huck or a recycled surgical towel.
It looks like a recycled surgical towel.
A Huck is the slang term for it.
All right, so you get 3 of those. Person that won, I hope you're paying attention. And
That is a scrim. It looks like
could be
Unger scrim, maybe. Yeah, that's scrim.
cool.
That is an Irish linen, just in case you wanted to know.
So you get 3 of those, okay?
Woo.
And
That is a fish scale. That is the Chevron fish scale.
all right, one more, and you only get one of these.
Boom. That is the micro swipe by Unger, maybe.
Micro swipe.
Boom.
Boom. So you get one. They only gave me 3 of those, so I'm trying to give them away on the other ones too. So
Yeah,
you
yeah.
only get one of those. So, but yeah. So congratulations, and then I'm even going to give you WCR sent a whole bunch of T-shirts. So you're gonna get a WCR T-shirt to match your toboggan, and a dark blue hoodie to go with. I mean, you're gonna be swagged out. Completely swagged out. So, and these hoodies are really, really comfortable. Like I love these hoodies, and I would recommend don't put them in the dryer.
No, they shrink. Yeah,
For those of you that don't know, don't put the hoodie in the dryer. Don't ruin it for yourself. You're gonna be giving it to your kid or your wife or something else because you're not even gonna be able to wear it. So you have to buy
yeah.
another one. But all
Or
right,
you're just gonna think you just got really unhealthy really quick.
yeah,
Man,
it don't even
I
feel
shouldn't have
right.
had that last serving.
Yeah,
Right.
and sometimes I have done it before, so that's how I know. So it's not very comfortable after I try to put it on. The sleeves are all like this when you're walking
Chris,
around.
yeah.
All right, so I got 2 more questions for tonight, and we're gonna wrap it up. What made you start the mustache judge on TikTok? I love it, and I think it's hilarious to watch your reactions. I really get a kick out of it.
So I always like to be that guy that helps, and I'm always like trying to like somehow teach lessons, and I don't know why, but it's always been interesting. I love business. I love that side. And when I first started making TikTok videos, which I feel ashamed even saying that because TikTok's still anyway. And T Squeegee was like, dude, like your videos suck. And I'm like, well, thanks, man. Like, cool. He's like, no, like nobody wants to go on TikTok and learn things. They just want to be like entertained in the industry. I'm like, all right, so what am I gonna do? And people were tagging me already in like squeegee and like, tell me how I did. Like not like rating it, but they just wanted to know like, the process. So I started doing that like once or twice, and then it just became a thing. And now everybody tags me in videos, and I do that. So just something ridiculous, but
Man, I seen that. I didn't see the hashtag mustache judge yet, but man, you got to get
yeah,
that started. Hashtag
I gotta
mustache
start.
judge, because before somebody else gets it, man. Because
That's right. That's right.
it's a good idea. Because you do a really good facial expression. I like how you got the glasses on and you're all serious, and like you drop
Yeah,
the
yeah,
sunglasses down. I really get a kick out of it, and it's
yeah.
fun. And T Squeegee is right. You know what I'm saying? Like he's right. They want to be entertained on TikTok. You know what I mean?
I
So
know.
you gotta be doing some squeegee action or something funny like that, because that's
Yeah.
like the perfect video. I think that's funny. All right, so I got one more question for tonight. What
Yeah.
is the most common tool you sell for WCR?
So it is easily like expendable. So like huck towels, razor blades, rubber, that type of thing, just because people always need it, right? Resin, that type of thing. But like if you were talking about like how many of something we sell, it's got to be pure water stuff. Especially the zero stuff, not plugging products or anything, but we sell so many of those things. There's so many people that are using them and kind of like finding waterfed for the first time, that there's tons of awesome videos, and those awesome videos, people are like, I got to look into that. So I can't tell you daily. I mean, me personally, I'm selling probably 3 complete systems every single day to like brand new people, and some days way more than that. I've sold 10, 15 new systems to people, and that's like, randomly people who've just never gotten into it. So I gotta still go water fed.
Yeah. So do you think that the water-fed pole industry is going to take over the traditional, or do you think they'll always be
Um,
traditional? Because I believe they'll
there's
always be
always
traditional.
100%, 100%. Window, water fed is really amazing, and I wish that anything and everything I ever did in the future was water fed, because I think it's easier, it's less stress on your body. I don't have to worry about how to climb some crazy 12-12 pitch roof to get to, I just don't have to do any of that. So it's really, really nice, but I can't use that in someone's living room. I can one time, but they're not going to have me back. So you're always going to
Technically.
have a squeegee. You're always going to have a scrubber. You're always going to have the traditional stuff, which we do get new people every now and then. And I always tell them that too. Like, I love water fed, but you have to know the like basics of squeegeeing, because it will come up. So it's never going to take it over, but it is going to by far match the industry as far as people getting into it. It will be, if it's not already, new people who get into window cleaning are going to have, oh, I got to get a squeegee, a bucket, and a water fed. Like it's in their head that that's the equipment that they need. So it's definitely going to keep getting bigger and bigger.
Yeah, and I think that you know, what my question is more drawn to is, are we going to be moving more towards outside only cleaning? Because I see more and more window cleaning businesses popping up that are exterior only. They don't even deal with the inside because of all the things they got to move and all the
Yeah.
risk of being in somebody's house. And they can just pull up water fed pole and dip out. You know what I mean? And
Hmm.
I even see people where they're getting the customer to take the screens out and everything, which is like, to me, is like unbelievable.
I did, yeah. No, if I ever did jobs that we did exterior only, they'd take the screens off for us. Because I'd always just say, okay, we're going to be there Tuesday between 9 and 10 in the morning. Just make sure all the screens are off so we can get to go, get to work. And people, not once in the 10 years I probably said that phrase that anybody say, what? I got to take them off myself. They're like, oh, cool, yep. It's like washing a house. You're like, just make sure all the pots and your plants are away from your house. Nobody's ever been like, what? I'm not going to do that. And they're like, oh, okay, that's what I have to do.
Yeah, I must have missed that memo because I thought that, like, I feel bad because I have been to a job and they already have all the screens off. I feel really bad though. I'm like, man, I didn't do part of my job or something, like, and I don't charge to pop the screens off.
No, no.
Like,
I would, if
so
somebody was like had a problem with that, I probably would charge like a little extra, $20 or something just for time. But if it's part of, and this is the other thing, there's no wrong way. Like how you do business isn't wrong. That's how you do it. That's
yeah,
exactly right for you. But there are also people who, in their window cleaning price, they do inside, outside, track, sills, frames, the whole kit and caboodle, and they do screens. Like that is their price if
that's
they do a
me.
window.
That
So
is me,
yeah, awesome.
100%.
You are an all-inclusive, all-in-one type thing.
Yep.
There are other companies who, like you said, just do just outs. I'm
Yeah.
gonna I'm gonna be happy to do that. The downside is, if you do just outs, a company like you is gonna come in and do ins and outs, and they'll never go back to just outs. So yes, you can do just outs, but I mean, again, what you offer is what you offer.
Yeah.
So
No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And I always recommend people try traditional first, and because people have said that to me on my channel. They message me and they're like, hey, like, should I invest in a water fed pole system? And I'm like, look, honestly, like, I'm 5 years in, so like, I better be at the time to get a system. You know what I'm saying? At 5 years,
Yeah.
but for me, I learned traditional. I had heard about the water fed pole stuff, and there was customers I was getting that said their last person did water fed pole, and it was terrible. So I had this
Mm-hmm.
image like, oh my gosh, this is a terrible thing. And then
It's
whenever
the
I
number
learned
one
about
thing.
it, because of solar panel cleaning, that's what really got me interested in it. I used it for more solar panel cleaning, and then I really started seeing people cleaning the windows more and more with it. And I'm like, okay, well, I need to figure out how to do it, because when I cleaned the windows, I was getting spots.
Yeah.
So I figured out
Yeah.
how to
Well,
do it, and that was the big thing.
the thing that I think is so funny with waterfed is, once you're in it, you kind of understand it. But new people, 100% of new people don't get it. And that is evident when you give. If I walked up to somebody in the street and I was like, "Excuse me, sir, for $10, here's a squeegee. Wash that window."
Yeah.
He'd get done. He'd start in the center of it. He'd miss a spot and he'd put the squeegee right in the middle, and he'd be doing it. He'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh gosh, this is awful, man."
Yeah.
And he'd hand me the squeegee and go, "I really have to practice to get better at that."
Yeah.
And that would be the end of the conversation. If I handed somebody a water-fed pole and said, "Clean that window," they didn't know what they were doing and didn't do it right. They go, "This thing doesn't work." It's because they don't understand it. So whenever somebody says that, like, "Oh, they don't work," or I love the comment when people are like, "Oh yeah, you just keep water fedding, I'll just take all your customers when they're not happy." It's like, because you've heard that from somebody that they left spots, they think it's everything. But I'll tell you, to be a window cleaner, you 100% do not need a water fed. You just do not need it.
Yeah.
Do you want it? Yeah, probably. I do.
It's safer. It's safer in my opinion. It is much safer. And sometimes, like today, I use my water fed pole because there was a whole bunch of bees on this rose bush, and then there's like a window right in between these rose bushes, and there's bees flying all around there, and I'm like, I'm not going in there. So I stood on the sidewalk and put my micro out there and scrubbed down the window. There was no track, so the window didn't even open, so I was lucky on that. So I just got to scrub it down. There was 3 of them just like that, and I was like, I don't care if I have to pull, because I have a delivery system, so I just pull it straight out of the van and I just go. So it doesn't take me that long. I don't have to set up anything or anything. And we have a 100-gallon tank, and that just seems to work better for us. The 100-gallon tank, I think 50 is not enough. I use way too much water. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, I freak out about the rinse process. Like,
water hogs. Yeah, no. Water hogs, man.
Yeah, that's me.
Dude, you can get a HydroCart X2 or a HydroCart 2X electric, can do 4 gallons a minute in a portable system, man. That's like pressure washing numbers. You're like dousing the windows. That's like almost 100% return out of what's coming out of the tap, So there's water hogs out there, man.
Yeah.
It's
Yep, I'm definitely one of them. And I found a car washing brush that works pretty good, and I put a MoFlow attachment on there.
Nice.
And I got it kind of rigged up, but I've really loved it so far. It's been like, I've been using it for about 6 months, and it works great. It's a boar's hair brush, but it's a car washing brush. So.
Oh, nice.
But it's got the bristles on the side, which I like, because then I can clean the sides of the inside the
Frames
track.
Jumping.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But so that wraps it up for giveaway night tonight. Thank you so much for your time and knowledge, especially all your willingness to help other people on your podcast that you have. So how do you find your podcast? And shameless plug, I've heard you say it several times. Let's go ahead and hear that shameless plug on giveaway night tonight.
Yes. Well, as you know, I'm a rep for windowcleaner.com, so if anybody needs supplies, obviously call me. But the podcast, if you just search WCR Nation, it's anywhere podcasts are. There is over 175 hours of podcasts that have been done so far, so you can really catch up.
Sweet. So I really appreciate you being on the show. And if you want more tonight, everyone out there that's watching right now, and you have time to join me, please stay for the live show for more off the clock talking about life and business. Cash prizes and a ton of fun with the physical prize wheel on random shows. And if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And it's so much fun. You pick a color, I put you on the prize wheel, we spin it. It's a ton of fun. But you got to donate. So that's the whole thing. So you donate, and then it goes into a pool, and then whoever wins on the prize wheel gets the money. So that's how we've been doing that, and it's been a ton of fun. So, and there's also some business advice and stuff like that going on, because this show is more about tool time. But every 5th show, we're going to do a show specifically to hear somebody's story and how they got started in the industry, like we've been doing every fifth show. We're going to keep that going on, so it won't be tool time. We'll be skipping tool time every fifth show. So I hope y'all have enjoyed the show tonight. Jersey, thank you again, man. Like, it's been awesome. I'm really glad we finally got to do this. I've been thinking about this and wanting to do this, and I talked to Chris about it. I was like, dude, you got to tell Jersey to get on the show, and he was like, I will tell him. He loves stuff like that, so like he definitely will. And then I'm just glad we were able to finally do it. So thank you again, man. I really appreciate it.
Definitely, man. Anytime.
All right, cool. Well, y'all have a blessed night. We'll see y'all on Off the Clock. So make sure to go back to my channel and go to the live show called Off the Clock. Peace out.